Hi everyone, welcome. If you are new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Today's video we are doing a get to know me tag. I think these are really fun and important so you feel more like you know somebody when you're watching their videos, and maybe you'll want to subscribe. I hope you take a second to subscribe because it really would mean the world to me, and if you're interested in seeing my answers to these questions, just keep on watching. Number one was, am I named after anybody? And yes, I am. I am named after my great-grandmother's brother. His name was Charles Francis, and I am Charlene Francis, and my nickname is Charlie. Number two is, when was the last time I cried? And probably something silly like a commercial or a talk show that I was watching, like Ellen, or some silly Lifetime movie. I'm not a big crier, but sometimes those silly things get to you. Number three was, do you have children? And yes, I do. My husband and I have one daughter together, and in 2015 we took guardianship of my two younger sisters who were 15 and 16 at the time. I am 11 and 12 years older than them, and for certain circumstances we took guardianship of them, and we've had them for the last 4 years, and we consider them like our own children. So we have three girls that we take care of, and we love each of them very much. Number four was, what's your favorite color? And my number one favorite color is red, but I do love like orange and yellow. There's not many colors that I don't love, but red's my number one, and then orange and yellow are a very close second. Number five was, am I sarcastic? And yes, I am very sarcastic. That's how I deal with things that bother me. I deal with them with sarcasm or humor. My husband's a very funny person, so it helps, with coping with things. And yes, we're all very sarcastic people, and sometimes it gets us in trouble, but we're sarcastic, and I'm very sarcastic. Number six was, what's the first thing I notice about somebody? And I'm going to assume that's physically, and it's their eyes. Whether they're the darkest of black or really pretty blue, I just think that a warm set of eyes are just so inviting, and I just love to look at people's eyes. Number seven was, what's your eye color? And I have blue eyes. Most of my family has blue, and I have a little bit of gray in them. Number eight was, do I prefer scary or comedy movies? I prefer both, and to be honest, it just depends on what kind of mood I am in. I love Dumb and Dumber. It's one of my favorite comedies, and I watch it anytime I need like a pick-me-up, or like Pet Detective, Ace Ventura Pet Detective, or Step Brothers. But then, when you get into the cooler months, like the fall time, I love John Carpenter's Halloween, or The Conjuring, Sinister, The Evil Dead. I love it all. It just depends on what mood I'm in that day. But I do enjoy movies. I also love like rom-coms from the 80s, like old cheesy 80s movies. They're my favorite. Number nine is, what's my favorite smell? I love the smell of patchouli. It's just a very comforting smell, and I love the smell of a library, of old books, like that musty smell of an old book, or the smell of a notebook. Paper is one of my favorite smells, or any type of notebook, or old musty books. Even if you found them in like a thrift store, I just love the smell of books. Number 10 was, how far have you ever been from home? I've never left the country, unfortunately, but I'm going to say Florida, and I live in New Jersey, so Florida is probably the furthest I've ever been away from home. Number 11 was, do I have any special talents? And unfortunately, no. I wish I did, but no. 12 was, where was I born? And I am born in Southern Jersey. I have lived here my whole life, nowhere else. I hope someday to live somewhere else, but for right now, it's okay. And I was born in 1987. Number 13 is, what's your zodiac? I am a Sagittarius, and yes, I do believe that I carry many of the Sagittarius traits, especially being tactless to a fault. Sometimes I don't mind my tongue. 14 was, do I have hobbies? Yes, absolutely. I love reading. I've been reading since I was about 5 years old. It is a big, big hobby of mine. I absolutely love reading. I always have a book with me at all times, and usually I'm juggling 2 or 3 books. I enjoy doing my makeup. It's something I absolutely love. I've been collecting makeup over the past couple years. I just absolutely love makeup. I love looking at it online. It's just one of my favorite things. And I love fishing with my husband. It's just such a relaxing thing, and it's his big hobby. Not so much a huge hobby of mine, but it's just something I really enjoy to do on the weekends with him. And it's something we, can just talk to each other and catch up on the week with. And you're just fishing, and it's mindless, stress free, and we really enjoy being out on the water together. 15 was, do I have pets? And yes, I do. I have a beautiful 3-year-old cat named Peach. I was about to say kitten because we're so used to calling her the baby. She is 3 years old, and we found her under my grandparents' porch when she was just a little teeny tiny baby, probably not even old enough to be away from her mother. And we absolutely adore her, but she is a brat. And I have a 1.5-year-old Shih Tzu named Butters, and he is the absolute love of my life. He is just the sweetest baby in the whole world. 16 was, do I have siblings? And yes, I do. I have 2 sisters from my mother, and that's who lives with me. And I have 6 siblings from my father. 17 was, what did I want to be when I grew up? And I wanted to work with teenagers. I've always sort of wanted to, whether that was a social worker or a teacher. Right now I work for Department of Developmental and Disability. I work with autistic adults, and for right now that's what I'm doing, and I really enjoy that, but I would eventually like to be working with teens. I always wanted to be like a school counselor, something like that, but right now this is, I'm really happy with what I do, but that's something I would absolutely love doing, is working with teenagers. It's such a hard age, and I just feel like I could bring something to the table, especially being so young. When I did get my 2 younger sisters, I've learned so much being with teenagers. Number 18 is, how tall am I? And I am 5'4". 19 was, what's my least favorite thing about myself? And I try not to dwell too much on what I don't like about myself, because it really can mess with you mentally. But I'm a very shy person, at least when I first get to meet you, which can also, I'm quiet and I'm shy, and I can often be mistaken as antisocial or kind of rude, and I'm not. I don't know what it is about me. If I don't instantly click with you, and I know instantly if I'm gonna just be like lifelong friends, or if we're gonna have a really nice relationship. If it doesn't happen right away for me, it might take me a little longer to warm up to you. So oftentimes people confuse it for something else, and it's really not. It's just I am shy, and it's something I really wish I could get over. I'm working on it, but it takes time. 20 was, what countries do I want to visit? And of course anywhere would be wonderful, but my top 2 I'm on my bucket list is Africa and Ireland. I will get there someday. They are both 2 of the most beautiful countries, and I really, really want to get to those 2 places. 21 was like a 3-parter. It was like, what's your favorite drink, animal, and perfume? My favorite drink used to be Diet Coke with lime before they discontinued it. I absolutely loved that. Now I just drink water or Dr. Pepper. I absolutely love elephants. They are my number 1 favorite animal. Often at Christmas or birthdays or any Mother's Day, I get things that are statues of elephants or little stuffed animals. I love whales, and I love sloths. And my favorite perfume is Victor and Rolf Flower Bomb. I also love Chanel No. 5 around the holidays, and my summer perfume is Replica Music Festival. It's heavily based in patchouli, and I adore it. 22 was, what were you or what did you name your child? I named her Brooke. If I did not name her Brooke, she would have been Spencer or Lily or Jocelyn. I am glad I didn't name her Lily, because there's a lot of Lilies at her school, and if she was a boy, it would have been Spencer or Ethan. 23 was what's my favorite book, and it's 11/22/63 from Stephen King. I love anything from Stephen King. My goal is in the next couple years to have read through all his novels. I also like Gillian Flynn's Sharp Objects. The Outsiders was a really good novel, and I'm super excited. I pre-ordered his new book, The Institute. Should be here towards the end of September, so I'm super excited for that. 24 is a weird question for me. It's the relationship you have with your parents. As far as my father, he was in my life always as somebody else. So it wasn't until I know that's a little confusing, it wasn't until I was 16 that I realized he was my father when he finally told me. I always thought he was somebody else in my life. And by then I was a little bit older, so the relationship was hard to repair because he had a lot of demons. But I loved him nonetheless. And as far as my mom, she was a hippie. She was very nature-based. She was very holistic and loved animals, and she instilled a lot of great values in me. But she was also a single mother who worked many hours and wasn't very affectionate and couldn't give us that part of what we needed, but she provided as best as she could. She was a wonderful mother, and I have nothing bad to say about either one of them. They did the best they could. And in my opinion, it's every generation tries to better themselves as far as being a parent. And both my parents are now deceased. So my goal is just to be, heavily involved in the school stuff with Brooke. All the kids know me, all the teachers know me. I do all field trips, all parties. I am the designated chaperone for when the kids go out. All the parents know that I will show up and, sort of just helicopter around the kids. That's my job, and I love that. And it's just stuff that I feel like Brooke will always remember, that her mother was, right there. And I do love both my parents. They just, did the best with what they had. And 25, the last question, and I think the funnest, is what is your favorite holiday? And it is the 4th of July. I love the 4th of July. It's nothing but barbecues and good food and good people. And then at night, when it's getting dark, you can snuggle up on the beach or a boat or on your porch at the corner of your street and watch fireworks. I mean, what else could you ask for? It's just the funnest holiday. I love everything else. I love all the holidays, but there's no strings attached. It's just such a fun holiday. And that brings us to the end of this with 25 questions about me. I thought this was a lot of fun, being able to get to know me a little bit better. If you have any questions, you can feel free to leave them down below. I really hope you take a minute to subscribe, and I hope you got to know me a little bit better, and I really hope you'd enjoyed this as much as I did. And thank you for watching.